coconut cake, Fruit Ambrosia.
Yep. Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah. So all that fuss to say that tonight we are making a coconut cake for the in-laws, right, Butters? Right, Keanu? We're making a coconut cake for the in-laws because it was a huge hit last time, and it did come out really good. I do have to admit that cake came out pretty dang good. And then for us, I'm making a fruit ambrosia, which I haven't made in a very long time. So I'm really excited about that. Just putting on something in the back to listen to. Trap Soul Lo-Fi. Let's give it a shot. It says it's upbeat, so let's give it a shot. Mixing bowl. This is the baking dish that we're going to use later. We normally use a bundt cake, but this particular formula or cake mix, right? This particular cake mix calls for a 9 by 13, and it also calls for butter instead of oil, which blew my mind last time, but it came out excellent. Can't argue with the results. So this is the cake mix that we're going to be using. Dolly Parton's coconut flavored cake mix. I feel like this used to be called Coconut Dream, but maybe I'm thinking of the frosting, her frosting as well. I know that her banana cake mix had like a repackaging and they retitled it. I feel like this used to be called Coconut Dream, but maybe I'm wrong. But we're going to be using this cake mix, and we're going to be making a few adjustments. We're going to be adding in some coconut cream pudding mix, and I'm going to be adding in, I have it hidden in here because nothing is safe around Keanu, nothing. So I'm hiding in the microwave. I'm going to be adding some coconut flakes as well. And he looks so cute right now with a little toy in between his little hands, his little paws. Okay, so I already gave the table a wipe down. Well, let me get scissors. So we're going to make the cake first, and then while that's in the oven, or alternatively while the oven is preheating, we'll make the fruit ambrosia. How's it sound, everybody? Yeah, I think it sounds good too. Okay. Oh, milk. Milky milk. Almost forgot the milky milk. That's almond milk. Almost grabbed almond milk by mistake. And this milk has a February expiration date. Very impressed. I haven't had that luck in quite a while. But I'm going to be using, hey, baby boy. Yeah. Don't worry, we're going to go hang out soon after the baking. You don't have to use lactose-free, but I just do because that's what agrees with my belly. And can't argue with the results. It's always come out good. But you can use regular whole milk. You don't have to use lactose-free. I just got a whiff of something funky, but I actually think there was a sticker on here with my name on it because I did curbside pickup. And I actually think it was the sticker. Ew. Yuck. Yuck, McGuck. I'm actually going to rinse my hands again for that reason. That, as soon as I pulled it off screen, I could smell it. And I was like, oh, what is that? But it was actually the sticker that was on the front of it. Ew. That happened once before, many years ago. As odd as it sounds, many years. This had to be at least, God, time goes so fast, at least 10 years ago now. There was a water bottle in our then car that the heat, from just the heat of the summer, melted off the label that was on the water bottle, and it smelled so friggin' foul, you wouldn't believe it. And it took us a long time to figure out what it was. We were cleaning the car, searching to try to find, figure out where the odor was coming from, if there was something, underneath the seats or somewhere that we didn't realize, was there and was causing the odor. And it took us a long time to figure out that it was that frickin' water bottle with the melted off label, and the glue smelled foul when it did. Nothing about this recipe is going to be foul, that's for sure. And the rest of this I already would have wiped down when I came home, because I'm still wiping down my stuff from the grocery store after I come home, because it is flu season and it's still COVID season. All right, so we took care of that. All right, and then over there I have some of the, this is the baking spray I always use. There is a new one called Baker's Choice that I haven't broken out yet because I haven't gone through this yet, with all of the like pre-made pies that we ate this past month for the holiday season, chocolate covered cherries, chocolates, all the just delicious desserts that we've been partaking in. I haven't made a cake in a minute. So it's for our cake. And later, when we make our Fruit Ambrosia, there's a couple other ingredients, including a vanilla yogurt that I have in the fridge, but I'm not taking that out quite yet because we're a little ways away from. I'm being distracted by Keanu that I think is about to knock my butter off of the counter. I'm gonna have to go address that. But we're gonna be using. Well, I'll just tell you when we make that recipe. All right, little sir. I don't know what you're digging out from under there. Well, let me just move the butter. He'll be back up there in 2 seconds once I take him down. And luckily he hasn't noticed the butter, but he's digging at something underneath the microwave that got under there. Okay, grab my water. Pardon me. Oh, our eggs. Just gave a light rinse to rinse off a couple of them. I noticed still had feathers on them. Okay. So let's get started. Yeah, I haven't even thought about it. There's little butters. Little butters when he was a baby. I haven't thought too much about baking because the desserts have sort of come to us this past month. Okay. My favorite mixing bowl, which has rapidly become my favorite mixing bowl, much to my surprise, because it is heavy. It's a thick glass and it's pretty heavy, but I like it. It's become my new favorite. So again, that's the Dolly's coconut cake mix. I'm gonna have to melt some butter in a minute. Goes. Butter is alerted. I'll use this to collect my eggshells.
Let me turn my mic off on my stream.
Yeah. Use that to collect my eggshells in a minute. Why don't I just get that out of the way now? And I always add 4 anyway, but I remembered from last time that this recipe calls for 4, and normally it only calls for 3, but this one does call for 4. Okay, yeah, 1 cup milk, 4 large eggs, and half a cup of melted butter. Got our 1 cup milk, which I normally use anyway. Most recipes call for water, but I always use milk. It always comes out better. 4 large eggs and half a cup of melted butter. Like I was saying earlier, it did blow my mind a little bit last time. I was nervous about it, but it came out awesome, and I made it a couple times now, so I know it works. But most box cake recipes call for oil, not butter. But butter does make everything better. What I did do last time, and I'm going to do the same now, is I did still add I eyeballed it, but I did still add a little bit of oil, because especially after adding the pudding mix, which always thickens up the cake mix. But this time in particular, between the butter and the pudding mix, it was very, very thick. So I did add a splash of oil, and it came out great. And now our coconut cream. In there. Recycling. That's the ice machine you're hearing in the background letting me know that she wants water. She wants more water. But it's going to turn itself off in a second when no water gets added. There we go. It smells good. I just took a whiff of the inside of this bag with the pudding mix. It smells really good. It's a strong coconut odor. It smells really nice. It kind of a little bit smells like a summery perfume. It's nice. If anyone's watching, I hope your holiday season was good. There we go. Good boy. Good boy. And I just got up to get my measuring cup for the milk. Always have to keep an eye on Keanu at all times, because you only have to have your back turned for a second and he could be getting into whatever food item you have out. That adorable little, I've had cats my whole life, as long as I remember. There've always been cats around. My mother was a cat person, long before I came into the picture. But of all the cats I've ever had, I have never had a cat as food aggressive as Keanu, by far. A cup of milk, and I am going to give this a good whiff, give it the smell test. She's still sealed. She has a February date, so it should be fine. Wow, that is glued on there good. Lactate doesn't mess around. Let's give it a whiff. Mix. It's been in the coldest part of the fridge, too. Tastes fine. It doesn't taste sour, but because I'm always doubting myself, I'm going to have him give it a whiff. All right? Be right back. I mean, you're coming with me, but be right back to the kitchen. Okay, be right back, hon. And away we go. Can you do me a favor?
Mm-hmm.
When you have a second, can you give this a whiff? I think it's fine, but I just want a second nasal opinion.
It seems fine. When was it supposed to?
February. It expires in February.
Oh yeah, so it's fine.
Okay, but it
Yeah.
smelled fine to you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. I just
I was
needed a
questioning.
second opinion. Me too. Me too. That's why I wanted to talk to you about it. Okay. Oh, we lost Butters. Come on, honey. Come back to the kitchen. Come on. Let's go. Good boy, baby. Good boy. Where's Keanu? Oh, he's under the table. Hey, little baby. What are you up to, little baby? Little baby boy. Good. You came back. Good boy. Good boy. That was Keanu. I'll give you guys a little bit of something when I'm done. They've been eating all day, as always. Okay. A little bit extra. Let's see how much extra. That seems fine. Well, actually, maybe we'll take a little bit, pour a little bit back in. I don't mind a little bit of extra moisture, but not quite that much. I think that's close enough for me. Let's put the milk back right away before I forget. We need half a cup of butter. This guy over here. See how many tablespoons is half a cup. Using our Great Value unsalted butter. I do have Kerrygold. Oh, I have Kerrygold unsalted. I'm actually going to use that instead. I don't think we use the unsalted one. Great. 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 I didn't want to use a salted butter, which I knew I had Kerrygold salted, but it turns out I have unsalted as well. Is this not 2 sticks? Is this just a big old slab? That's going to make it interesting to figure out half a cup. Because I know solids and liquids aren't exactly the same thing. Let's see. Grab this again so we can figure this out. Oh, they're going to be begging for butter once they realize that's what I'm working with over here. All right, so let's see. Half a cup is 8 tablespoons, which is, I believe, going to be this whole thing, but let's count it out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I kind of knew that, but I just wanted to double check. So if this is what I'm theorizing is instead of 2 sticks is just 2 sticks is just one big slab. I'm just going to cut this in half and add a little extra. All right, let's find out. They are already on top of it. They already know. Stop, guys. I'm going to give you some, but, control yourselves, please. Yep, this is one big old slab. I've never bought butter like this outside of, like, a tub. No, sorry. Everybody, Keanu, get down. Come on. Everybody get down. You too, Butters. Here, don't encourage him. Thank you. Appreciate it. Get out of here. I will give you some. Stop. He's so aggressive. He is. And this is him being, mild. There are times where it's, way more severe than this. And this cat eats all day long. Yes, you do. They both do. All day long. Okay. Eyeball this. And they're going to get some, too. Yes, you too, Butters. Yes, you too. I don't know how you guys can even smell this, but you are cats after all. All right, guys, get over here so you can get out of my faces, please. A little bit extra. All right, guys, you're in for a treat because this is the good stuff too. I'm actually not going to give them that much. I'm going to cut that. This is a really thin little slice, and I'm going to cut that in half. Hey, I'm so angry at him. I'm so angry at you guys. Come on, get down. I'm not really, but a little bit. I'm annoyed. Hey, over here. Butters, do you want some? Come on. Come on. You too. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Good boy. Come here. Butters? No, not you, Keanu. You just had a piece. Leave him alone. You just ate your piece. All right. I'm going to give you guys some dry food too, even though like they're well fed, so you don't feel like all dramatical, like you're being neglected or something. I have to dump out that milk. He was just drinking it. I had my back turned a little too long, like I was saying earlier. That's a little more than I want to give him because I've been eating all day. There you go. Butters, here you go, honey. There you go. Eat it. What, that's not good enough now that you've had butter and milk? I'm going to dump this out. Well, if there was any question about it being good, which there wasn't really, but him drinking away at it kind of solidifies to me that it's fine. It's perfectly fine. The milk. This back in the fridge. I'm going to have a tamale too. Well, after, you know, the cake is in the oven and everything, and the ambrosia is made, because I'm getting a little hungry. Me and my mom made tamales for New Year's. That was my first time making them. She's been doing it, you know, her whole life, but that was my first time learning and making them. And they came out really good. Like, not for nothing, but they did. They came out really good. I'm excited to do it again. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work making tamales. I think that's why so many people only do them during the holiday season, because it really is. It's kind of like an all-day event. Kerrygold has very quickly become my brand of choice. It is, you know, much more expensive. It's significantly more expensive because it's imported from Ireland, but it really is worth it. Almost where I want it. Do a little melty magoo. Don't want it to start popping. A little ways to go with the melty. Get out of there. Get out of there. There's nothing but powder and raw eggs. Get out of there. I love that cat to death, and he is a bit obsessed with me, wants to be wherever I am. It's very sweet and very affectionate. But sometimes when I'm doing stuff like this, cooking or baking, he can be a real nuisance. It's true, honey. It's true. It's a true story. Sorry to say it, but you're a little bit of a fiend. This is the salted version is gold, and the unsalted is silver. Okay. Milk. I was debating whether or not to add the milk first or after, so it doesn't like re-solidify the butter. Maybe I will do it after. Don't, Keanu, don't. I remember the last time I did this, I had to actually bring him over to his father and be like, you have to do something. I can't do this. And that's the only time. It's the only time he's too much because he's so adorable and sweet and cute. And I am going to use a proper mixer in but a moment. I just want to give this just a little premix. All the butter is still nice and melted, but not so hot that it's like cooking the eggs. Let's add in our milk. And I will be adding just a bit of oil. It doesn't look too thick now, but when you actually start the mixing process, it gets very thick because of that pudding mix. It's the consistency is always much thicker than if you don't use it. But it really does make the difference. That is my like secret weapon when it comes to box cakes, is adding a box of pudding mix. You could also add, if you wanted to, I don't think it's necessary, but you could totally add, bless you, little baby. Bless you, little baby boy. You could totally add some coconut extract, but I don't think it's necessary. But because it came out so delicious, but it wouldn't hurt. It would, if you really love coconut and you want an extra powerful coconut punch, you could do that. Oh, I haven't added in the coconut flakes yet. But I am going to add in a dab of oil now. I say a dab, and it's not going to be a dab. Maybe I'll put in like a 1/4 cup, maybe. Sorry, sweetie. You can't be eating everything all day. Like he just had some dry food. He had some butter. He's been eating all day. Wet food, dry food, breakfast, lunch, dinner. And even though we just ate, like if I were eating right now, he'd literally be trying to steal my food from me. I wonder, which makes me kind of sad, even though I don't think so, because the people that we got him from seemed like they were very good pet owners, and all of the kittens, well, they seemed like they were very well taken care of, and he was very healthy and very clean. When he, you know, aside from being a kitten and having white fur, very clean when he came to us. They seemed like they were great pet owners. But I do wonder if maybe he had to like fight with the rest of his litter for food. I can tell he's making moves on the coconut flakes bag, which is safe for him to eat, but I just don't want him doing it. It's not what it's for. But to my point, I think I sometimes wonder if maybe he had to like really, you know, fight with his siblings to get food, and maybe that's where the aggression was birthed from. Or maybe it's just his personality. Some cats just are. Once I remember he had a bone in his mouth and I took it away from him. He was smaller too. He was smaller than he is now. And I took it away from him because it was a bone and I didn't want him to get hurt. And he started growling at me. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. It's the only time I've ever heard him growl, period. I've never heard him growl besides that time that I took a little bone away from him. But see how thick that is? That's what prompted me last time to add a pinch of oil. And I still might. I just added like a little less than a fourth cup. And I still might add a dash more to loosen it up a bit. I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to mess with the recipe too much. Oh, that smells so good. It smells so coconutty already. I don't want to mess with the original recipe that I concocted by making these additions too much because it came out good. Okay, it looks a little better now. It's easier to move the spoon around. It's a little glossier. And I'm going to add some coconut flakes. And then I'm going to get the proper mixer. Oh, the wrong end. Grab it from the unopened end. Oh yeah, this is the other addition that I made because the box recipe doesn't call for it. Did I overdo it with the flakes? I might have overdone it a little bit with the coconut flakes. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad thing, but I'm trying to keep it. I made it last time. That looks good to me. I'm going to keep those in. Honey, come here. Since it's safe for you to have coconut, there's a little bit. Just gave him a pinch. Did you hear him chirp? Did you hear him go? But more of like a chirp. It's really cute. Not so much. Not a big fan. Yes, indeedy. Okay. So now, I'm going to get this out of here. I'm not sure if I'm going to be, I don't think I'm going to be reusing this. I'm going to leave it here just in case until I've got it in the oven. Some coffee, black coffee from McDonald's. All right, now we're going to get the proper hand mixer. This one here, I originally got this to put their like water bowls and food bowls on, but they love it so much, both of them. They just chill on it, take naps on it. I'm probably going to get another one. arms for this. I don't know what you would call these. Would you call these arms? Tongs? Ooh, I should start preheating the oven. I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to start preheating the oven. 350. Even though I know it's empty, I'm still going to double check. Got it at 350. Surprised he's coming over. He's not freaked out at all. Interesting. There's your harm's going to fall upon him. It looks a little clumpy, but those are the coconut flakes. So odd, doesn't it? Coming out of the arms or what have you. This thing actually came with a stand. It was my mother's, but she never ever used it. So even though like it's a relic from like the 90s or possibly the early 2000s, it was still in new condition when I got it because she never used it. But I never used the stand because I just don't feel like I need it. See, it's thick. And those clumps are the coconut. And I always thought that this looks kind of like ice cream, like a cookies and cream ice cream or like a cookie dough ice cream. Scoop some of this out. Scooping out every last bit that I can. There's a lot got caught on these. I don't know why I want to call them tongs. I think tongs are when you have two arms that are, made for grabbing something. I don't know what the proper terminology is. Oh, I'll be opening the window in a minute. It's already getting hot in here. And it's cold too. It's cold outside. It won't take too long to cool off. I'm pretty sure tonight it's only supposed to be in the teens. This whole weekend in our area is supposed to be really cold through Monday. I think Monday's supposed to be the coldest day. And then we're supposed to have some days in the 40s next week, which is going to feel like summer. Or at the least, it's going to feel like spring. That's what it's going to feel like after having days that are in the teens. Well, technically days in the 20s, nights in the teens. Yeah, it's cold this weekend over here. Okay, take these off. I want to give those a rinse so bad, but oh, see, can't take my eyes off, can't turn my back on you for a second. I'm going to properly wash these later, but I just want to, while I have my eyes on him, rinse most of the cake mix off of these, because once it dries, it's a pain in the ass to get off once it dries. It's the gluten. It's actually the gluten that does that. I am excited for the Fruit Ambrosia, though. Like I was saying, I haven't had that in a while, and that is probably my all-time favorite dessert. It really is. And it's excellent in the summer. In the summer, I really won't be baking cakes. It'll be like a rare occasion that I'll bake cakes just because, the heat. But I do make Fruit Ambrosia all the time in the summer. It's just tapping me under the table. Wait a second. Oh, yeah. She got messy. Get some white before anything dried on it. Because there was a little bit of batter up here because it got up that high during the mixing process. Just want to wipe off any gluten, well, cake mix, before it solidifies. It's a much bigger task to clean. And we are good. Sorry, Keanu, no more playing with that, honey. You gotta put this away. We lost Butters. Yeah, he left us. Okay. Because the back heaters get very hot during this process. That is actual soup in it, but I think Juan was going to have some, so I'm going to leave that there. This is already getting warm from being back there. All right. Honey, I need you to jump down because I need to spray my pan. I'll wipe down because I just washed it a short time ago. All right, so we're going to be using currently my all-time fave, We'll see how I feel after trying the Baker's Joy one, because I guess according to the packaging, that was the original. That was the original of this formula, which is a flour-based formula. Baking made with flour, as it says, and you'll see in a second. She's ready. Perfect timing. It's a good shaky shake. Shaky shake, shake and bake. While keeping an eye on that little guy. See? It comes out like flour, and this stuff it hasn't failed me once, not yet. This stuff is excellent. Which probably means it's terrible for you, really. And again, if it seems to you while you're pouring it out, whether you eat or doing a coconut cake or just any other flavor cake, if it seems really thick, it's fine. Trust the process. You will probably never go back to baking box cake the same ever again after trying making it with pudding mix. I never did. Can't argue with results. The other things that you can do if you're like, just say you're just, pretend you're making like just a regular yellow cake. The box recipe always calls for 3 eggs. I always add 4. And I always swap out the cup of water for a cup of milk. And my preference is the lactose-free milk, but you don't have to. You can use regular milk, and it'll be great. And sometimes, depending on the flavor that I'm making, I might add some extract. Like when I make an orange cake, I add orange extract, and I use orange juice in that case instead of milk. And I've made a pistachio cake before, and I think I used almond extract. Again, you could use coconut extract. You could use vanilla extract. Like once you know a few simple hacks like that, there's really so many different things that you can do with box cake. There's so much variety and so much fun that you can have with flavors, especially because some of the manufacturers have like limited edition pudding flavors sometimes. Like I have a churro one that I haven't broken out yet because I'm not quite sure how I'm going to make that. I think I'm going to use yellow cake as the base. I do have an almond cake mix. Maybe that. Oh, shoot. I left the spatula there and I want to spray that spot. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if just one little piece was sticking there, but it's an easy correction. Why am I bringing that back over here? She's a thickums. Just gonna get it as even as possible. It's so thick it almost looks and feels more like I'm spreading some sort of like fudge chocolate mixture. Trying to get it as flat as possible. It's not going to be 100% flat. It's not going to be perfect. Nothing ever is. Not in nature, anyway. Okay, delicious. I'll let you look a little of the batter. Just a pinch. Just a pinch, because you already had a couple treats and I don't want you having too much. Just a couple more licks and you're done. Okay, good enough. Let's get her in the oven. And then I gotta figure out how much time is set for the timer. I always put it on the top rack because it works, so I don't mess with success. And let's see what these directions call for time. And whatever it says, I'm going to add 5 minutes because that seems to be the magic recipe when you add pudding mix. It does pudding mix. It does make it take a little bit more time. So let's see what this says. Bake the center rack. I'm doing the top rack. Okay, here we go. 13 by 9, 24 to 28 minutes. So on the high, I'm going to add it to the higher end because it always seems to take a little bit more time. So that would be 33 minutes. Wow, it's not very long at all. That's great. Should probably check it after 30 though. Alexa, start a timer for 30 minutes, please.
30 minutes, starting now.
Alexa, start a second timer for 33 minutes, please. She didn't like that. Alexa, set a second timer for 33 minutes, please.
Second timer, 33 minutes.
Great.
Starting now.
Great. So let's see. In a half hour, that will be 5 of 2. Okay. Got so late so fast. I had a really busy day though. Yeah, 5 of. Okay. So we're gonna check it. I was just debating whether or not to cancel the first timer and just take it on faith that at 33 minutes it will be fine. It usually is. So because I added those extra ingredients, I always, whatever the higher end, because it's always a range. Like here it says 24 to 28 minutes. Whatever the higher end is, I usually add 5 minutes to that. And that seems to be the key, the magic recipe. But since I haven't made one in a little bit, I'm feeling a little less confident about the timing. I'm not unconfident about the cake or the flavor, but I'm a little less confident about the timing. So I'm gonna check it because I'd rather be safe than sorry. And sweet little mister, now that he knows that the food is over, has settled in. Now that he's certain that the food is over. Quick cleanup. Box of recycling. And I want to start our Fruit Ambrosia, which just takes a few minutes. That's another thing about that dessert that's so great. It's super easy. It's relatively inexpensive. It used to be on the super cheap, but you know, everything's a little bit more expensive now. But it's relatively inexpensive, and it just takes a couple minutes to throw everything together. It's kind of the perfect dessert. If you're a big fruit fan, and if you like marshmallow, I am a huge fruit person, and I've always liked marshmallow quite a bit. It's amazing. Oh, the marshmallows! I forgot to pull those out earlier. Did I put those marshmallows? Put them somewhere safe. Found them. Butters, I've been hiding these from Keanu, but Butters for years, he's not as food aggressive, but he certainly likes his food. And if I leave a bag of marshmallows out, he will bite through the bag, have a couple, and then he's done. All right, let me get a mixing bowl, and I'm going to use the same bowl that I'm going to store it in for ease. So we're going to mix it in here, and then that's how we're going to store it. Okay, let me get the other and last, I believe, ingredient, because I don't think I'm missing anything. What is that? Some stuff I have to get rid of in here. Oh, God. Okay. So this is our base. This is our base, vanilla yogurt. You could use plain. You could definitely use plain. I think next time, I saw when I bought this, I decided to just get vanilla because I know that that works. But I saw that they had like a vanilla honey Greek yogurt. And I think I'm going to try that next time because I always end up adding honey anyway. You could totally use Greek yogurt. I do use Greek yogurt if they don't have the regular. I prefer the regular, but it comes out great even using Greek yogurt as well, which I think is supposed to be a little healthier for you. I'm not sure, but I always stick with vanilla. Again, you could use plain. You could use honey if you found that. I've considered trying using strawberry in the past. You could fool around with other flavors like strawberry and blueberry, but I've just never done that. And I don't think most people do. Not that that's a reason not to, but yeah, I just stick with what works. And I need a new mixer now, a new mixing spoon. This isn't the one I would typically use. Here we go. The twin of one I was just using. Okay. So you could throw this together any way you wanted, but I like to add the yogurt first so that I can add a few other ingredients before I add the marshmallows, just like the cinnamon. The cinnamon is more or less what I'm talking about. I didn't even go over the ingredients besides this one and the marshmallows. Look who returned now that there's food, right? Now that mommy has food out, look who's returned. So since this has probiotics in it, you can lick that foil paper. Okay, let me get the other ingredients. So traditionally, how this is made is with yogurt, coconut flakes, which I'm going to skip because my husband doesn't like coconut. He doesn't like coconut, period. So I'm skipping the coconut flakes. It still comes out delicious, but you can't go wrong adding the coconut flakes either if you wanted to. And then typically either a fruit cocktail or some people use just plain mandarin oranges. I'm using both. I'm using a combination. And I like to use the berry cherry. Walmart makes their own version now that is extra cherry instead of berry cherry, but I haven't tried that yet. But most of the time they just give you like one or two cherries, and I like how they work in this recipe. So when I can find it, I try to get the berry cherry one. In my neck of the woods, this one isn't always in stock, and I actually just made a last minute decision because I just don't feel like using the can opener. So I'm going to give the Walmart brand a shot because they have a pull tab. And I'm going to take this with me because there's a certain little mister I don't trust to leave this on the table alone with. Here we go. So we will use the Del Monte brand another time. And instead we're going to use the flip top extra cherry because mom is feeling lazy. Or just feeling like doing less work. I'm going to add some water before she starts whining again. that? These things, if you don't have like a refrigerator that has an ice maker or something, these things have come down so low in price that if you're a big ice person like I am, my husband doesn't really mess with ice too much, but I like it. You can get these now for like $60. I'm sure on Black Friday you could have, probably gotten one for much cheaper than that. When we first started buying these years ago, tabletop ice machines, they were literally at that time still in the hundreds of dollars. And you can find one for like $60 now. Well worth it too. Well worth it. Okay. He didn't care for it too much. The reason why I know is because this hasn't been picked clean, which is his usual style. Just toss that in the sink. All right, so Mr. Del Monte will have to be for next time. Okay. So couple things that I add that are a little less common, but they work for me, and I suggest it because I think the results are delicious, is I always add a dash of cinnamon. Say a dash, but I like to add a healthy amount. It's good. It's good in the recipe. And let me taste this yogurt, because by the way, this is not my brand of choice. I have never actually used this brand before.
Says,
so I'm hopeful.
we'll love the
I
variety in
normally
this stream.
Truthfully, my brand of choice is the Walmart brands, because I really like their plain vanilla yogurt, and I've tried a few of the other even name brand ones, and I don't like them as much as the Walmart brand. The Walmart generics, I do have to give it to them. Their generics are pretty good for food items. You're like, this is decent. I just gave it a little taste. Like, it's decent. It's good. The recipe is gonna come out good, but I can already tell, like, I don't like this as much as I like the Walmart brand.
Says,
Stonyfield
nice.
is my other brand that I like a lot, but it's significantly more expensive. And the Walmart brand works perfectly fine. So in that case, I'm gonna add some honey. Sometimes, depending on which yogurt I'm using as a base, I might not add this because I feel like it might push it too far, because this is very sweet, this recipe. There's already a ton of sugar in it. But this tastes a little less sweet, this yogurt, so I am going to add a little bit of honey. I'm going to start off minimal, because you can always add more, but you can't take it away. Yeah, like that's about that drizzle is how much I added, because I can always add more later. And I want to mix this around now. Again, you could literally just throw everything in at the same time and mix and not do it like this way, which is probably a little bit more time consuming. But I just want the cinnamon and the honey to evenly spread throughout. But there's no specific way to do it, and there's so much room for variation with this recipe. A lot of people make it a lot of different ways. So whatever works. Like, a lot of people use the rainbow, like the multicolor marshmallows. Some people use like the rainbow colored marshmallows. I don't like it with the rainbow colored marshmallows at all. I feel like it gives it a funky taste. I just don't like it, even using the name brand. So I always stick with the plain ones. I do advise, though, you always using the mini marshmallows instead of the big marshmallows, because it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but you'd probably have to let it sit longer to get the desired results. What I would do is, if you only had like big marshmallows, like I said, you could either let it sit in the fridge longer, which I'll touch upon in a second, or you could like cut them. You could cut them down with like your kitchen scissors or a knife or what have you. Because after we mix all this stuff together, it is recommended that you don't have to, but it's recommended that I highly suggest it actually, that you let it sit in the refrigerator for at least an hour. If you can let it sit overnight, even better, but at least an hour. And why is because this is the miracle of this dessert. It really is. is that after letting it sit for like an hour, or like I said, even longer if you can, they melt. These marshmallows really do melt. They become liquidy, gooey, little gooey, cloudy clouds of delicious goodness. They soak up all this yogurt and they melt. They melt. That's the best way to describe it. They almost kind of liquefy, like they maintain some of their shape, but they become just these soft, moist, delicious little clouds in your mouth. There, it's wonderful. It really is. This is my favorite dessert. And so I add them in. You don't have to, again, you could literally throw everything into your mixing bowl at the same time and mix it all together. I just want to make sure that everything, all these marshmallows get thoroughly coated before I add in my fruit. A couple more twirls around the edges of the bowl. And if you do see any dry spots, don't worry about it because it's going to soak up the moisture. You're also going to add the fruit, which has a lot of liquid in it. And you can always mix it again. Like there have been times where I've done that, where I've let it sit for like a half hour in the fridge, came over, gave it a mix, and let it sit for longer. And I do try to let it sit as long as possible. But tonight, I'm probably going to be eating this in an hour because I'm excited. I haven't had this in a while. So the cake is actually going to be ready before this is. But the cake is for my in-laws anyway, so I'm just going to be throwing tinfoil on that and waiting to give that to them tomorrow. And I will have to store it in the oven because if I don't, a certain little mister will get to it. So start with our extra cherry fruit mix. Now here's what I do, because you're supposed to squeeze out the liquid. Don't like squeeze all of it out, but just most of it out. And I always reserve it in my yogurt cup because this doesn't happen too often, but this could happen if you use, say, like the large marshmallows. If it looks a little dry, you can always add a little bit of the fruit juice to like soften things up, but I let it sit for a while before you do that because if you add some juice in right away, I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but you might need to drain some of the liquid out after. But I've drained most of the liquid, reserving some in case I want to add some later, which I usually don't, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. So we've got our fruit cocktail in there. And now I'm adding in mandarin oranges. I almost added, because I have a can of pear halves, and I really do like pears a lot too. And I almost went with that instead, but I just didn't, because they're pear halves. I just didn't feel like going to the extra work of cutting the halves down into smaller pieces. Could have left them as halves. It would have been perfectly fine, but I decided to go with mandarins instead, the same way I normally make it. I'm just with the lid. There's the lid. I'm just pushing out the excess liquid, not to the point where it's bone dry, because you want there to be some fluid in the fruit, some liquid in the fruit, but just getting most of it out. And again, the traditional way to do this is to add coconut flakes, which I used to do in the beginning, but again, he doesn't like it, and it comes out just as great. It really does without it. I'm going to give this another mix. I also want to taste but let me give it a mix first, the yogurt base, and see if I want to add any more honey. You know what, I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to wait until this has sat for a while, and then when I go to taste it, I'll determine at that time if it needs the honey, because the marshmallows haven't even melted, and that's going to also add a lot of sugar into this. And I am going to hold on to the liquid for a little while in case I decide after the fact that she needs a little bit more moisture. 10 minutes. 10 minutes from the first alarm, anyway. And that's it. Like, right at this point, I'm just like, over mixing it. But now the magic happens in the resting phase. The magic happens when you're letting it sit in the fridge, and these will melt down. And when I say melt, I'm using the term loosely because I'm not sure how best to describe it. They don't melt like they turn into liquid, but they kind of. They kind of. They become much, much softer, and you really can't detect, like, visually that they're marshmallows. It just looks like a white stuff. White stuff with fruit is basically what it looks like after. All right, so let's get her in the fridge, and in about an hour, I'm gonna have some. Just a marshmallow. I'm gonna pop that in my mouth. If Butter was here, I would have given it to him, but he wasn't. And the other little guys had plenty. That's why he disappeared. All right. Light roast before I toss them into recycling. And I've heard different things about recycling. I've heard that you have to take the labels off. I know that's what my mom believes. But I've also heard that they have a process, some sort of heating process that melts the labels off. I don't know. Who knows what's true? I don't have a toothpick. What I normally use, which works, is a chopstick. A wooden chopstick. That's what I'm going to be using to test the cake. Let's leave her here. When the alarm goes off in a couple minutes, I might even be able to tell through the window by looking at the top if it needs more time. Those eggshells down the garbage disposal in a second. Stuff smells so good. I don't know if I have the original bottle because I just have it in that pump that I'm reusing. But this is the Ajax Fabuloso scent, Fabuloso watermelon scent. I don't know if they have another collab with Fabuloso other than the watermelon. They might, but it smells so good. sound loud because what you're going to hear in there is I have a couple lime halves, like the actual halves of a lime in there, which go a long way to for odor. It just smells, just makes it smell really good, really citrusy and fresh. The loudness. While I'm tossing this, I give things like this a light rinse because I just don't want my trash to smell. Here's somebody just gotta go. I've had this thing for years and it still looks brand new. This was Farberware. I think I got this at a discount store too. But I've used it about 1,000,000 times and it still looks brand new. I don't know if I got that at, there are a couple discount stores in our area that I know are chains, but I don't know if they're national chains or not. One is Big Lots and the other is Ocean State Job Lot. I think that's where I got it. As soon as that cake is done, I'm gonna take a shower. I was gonna eat a tamale, but I might actually wait because I am excited about the ambrosia. I forget what era that was from. I know that that's like an old recipe, fruit ambrosia. I think it's still pretty popular in the South. I think a lot of people in the South still make it, but I think it's one of those classic recipes that's just sort of slowly fading away, which is a shame because it's so delightful and so easy. But again, I think a lot of people in the South are keeping that tradition alive. Timer number 1. Alexa, stop first timer, please. Actually, so much bait. I'm gonna need a few more minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and wash a couple of these utensils before I check. Getting those later. Not getting those now. Kind of full over here. Oh, I actually want to. I bought this as part of a 5-pack, and I'm going to throw a pack into my purse. A clean pair is what I mean. Into my purse for when I go to my mom's house, because I will often do dishes there just to help out. She's 87 and she has arthritis, so the less time on her feet, the better. Pull those out now. So I've gone through a few of them, as you can see, but I'm going to bring the pink pair over there. And the yellow will be my extra. These were, I typically get like a 2-pack at Walmart, which I think is now like $5 or $6 because it's gone up so much in price. So I've been getting I got this like 5-pack for basically the same price at Amazon. So it's a much better deal. Here are my extracts. There's my almond, my orange, my vanilla. My incenses. Oh, maybe I'll light a coconut incense to go with the theme. Oh, we're ready. I think we're ready, guys. I say guys as I talk to myself. Here we go. Oh shoot, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna store that soup too. That looks pretty ready to me. We're clean. We're golden. Let's stop that heat. Actually gonna put it near the window to cool down. So we can put something to put it on top of. Yeah, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna store that soup, or where I'm gonna store it is what I mean. I have a ham that's taking up a lot of room in the fridge that needs to be tossed, frankly. First I gotta ask him if he's gonna have any, because if he's gonna have some, I'll leave it out. Okay, so we're gonna put her next to the window to try to keep her from cooking longer. But there she is. She's beautiful and she tastes amazing. I already know she does because I made this one now a couple times over, and it's so good. And they're coconut lovers, my in-laws, so they love it. They go nuts for that cake. All right, well, that's it. That's it. We made ourselves a cake. We made ourselves a fruit ambrosia dessert. And now I am going to go take a much needed shower. Bye.